We're going to use a strap or a towel or a belt, whatever you've got access to. But what we want to do here is use this to get into some hamstrings. So there is the best hamstring stretch that I'm aware of is what we call Warrior 3 in yoga. So it's essentially you're balancing on one leg while the rest of your body kind of tilts and you are standing on one leg. So you're doing essentially like a Superman on one leg. What we're going to do on our backs right now is replicate that. And this is also a great stretch on the football field when you've got someone to partner with, because they can lock out your other leg that's on the ground. As long as they're not going to rip your legs apart and hurt you, it's a great way to get in some additional, more effective hamstring stretches, right? So what we want to do is we're going to lay back flat on our backs. We're going to take this strap, we're going to place it around, again, the strap, towel, belt, whatever we've got access to. But you're going to place this around the ball of your foot, right? And we're going to come back flat, and as we're holding the straps in both hands, we're just going to flex our toes. We're going to make sure that the left leg along the floor is flat, and the left toes are flexed, your left foot is flexed. And then holding this foot, this may be enough of a stretch right here. The goal is to have your right leg straight as well, not bent, but right leg straight. And then find a spot, and the more that you lay back with your shoulders flat on the floor, the more that you're going to have a stretch that runs maybe from the calf all the way down to the hamstring. But we want to make sure that we get into this, because the straighter that we can go and the more that we can focus on pressing that right heel up towards the ceiling, the steeper that stretch is going to be in the hamstring. So do this, hold this for about 30 seconds, and make sure as you're holding this that you're breathing, using that breath that's going in through the nose, down below the belly button, and then slowly exhaling back out through the nose as you're holding this for 30 seconds. In the hips video, I get into this one-legged, let me do it on the other leg so it's a better view. I get into this on one knee stretch where it's a low lunge and essentially we're moving forward. Out of that, you can also back off of it, move your heel forward a little bit, and this gets into a runner stretch, right? So from here, all we have to do is make sure our foot is flexed, and then we're just going to sit back. So as we're sitting back and hinging forward, be careful not to press too hard on this knee that's straightened out, because we don't want to hyperextend it or hurt it. But we do want to sink our hips down, bending forward to feel that stretch. Once you can feel that stretch, you may not have to go that far to feel it, but once you start to feel the pull in this hamstring here, you know you're in the right spot. We don't want to overdo it. This is recovery stretching, so we want to take it easy, right? So the moment that you start to feel it pull, stay there, breathe for 30 seconds. This is going to take some balance because you're on one knee, so it may be a little awkward. If you have a chair or a couch that you can put your hand on next to you, that's totally fine. But we want to make sure we're balanced and we're getting a stretch, keeping our hips straight, and also not having one side jacked up versus the other. We want to keep them balanced, right? So all we're doing is going forward, holding this pose, breathing slowly. We're going to hold it for 30 to 60 seconds. If you can do 60, that's great. 30 is fine too. Switch to the other side. Do about 3 sets of this. So this is more of a challenge. If you want to try it, great. If you don't want to do it, it's totally fine too. This one works just as well on the ground. I just wanted to offer this up to you so anybody that actually wants to try it. The balancing aspect really does a lot for strengthening the calves and the ankles and the Achilles and understanding how to use the muscles in your feet. So this is a little bit more advanced, but I encourage you to try it just to see what it's like, right? There's also, just know that you're going to fall. It happens, right? But again, feet together. I'm going to bring the hands into that prayer position just as a mode or a way for us to get into this pose. But essentially, you're going to bring your right leg up, and then you're going to hinge at the hip. So the torso is coming forward at the same time. Your right knee and right leg are still in position, and then you're going to lengthen it out, looking at a point on the floor so that you've got some balance, but you want your hips centered. You don't want them flailing out to one side or up on the other, but you want your hips focused, and then you're going to bring your hands out to the sides. So you're doing essentially like a Superman, standing on one leg and trying to get a straight back from your neck down to your foot and then coming back up into standing. And then you're going to switch. This is also really good to do if you've got a kettlebell that you're holding on to. This is called a Russian deadlift, I believe. I can show you guys that later, but that's a really great exercise for the hamstrings, maintaining balance in the feet again, like I said. But this is just a great way to try something different and to see how it feels. So give it a try, let me know what you think.